Let's do our seat on our little cafe racer now. These are nice leather seats, and there's a layer of foam on the black seats. There's a layer of foam in between the top and the bottom layers of leather. I'm going to take a little paintbrush with some black paint. I'm just going to paint that along there. That'll kind of make it so you can't see that foam. And then I'll show you how to do the hardware on the bottom of this. Now the hardware goes on the bottom just like this. This funny looking fork thing dips down here and hugs the seat in front. So go ahead and screw that on. Use the bolts, lock washers and washers. Now if for some reason the seat is a little bit too tight, you can take that washer and put it under the steel there on both sides, and that'll space it up a little bit so it's a little bit looser. But that should fit quite well the way it is. So go ahead and snug those up. And then there's a set screw in your kit, and it has a jam nut with it. Go ahead and run that in. This is just an idea there. And run it in with an Allen wrench. And what we want to do is we want to have a certain amount sticking out there. Okay, and I've drawn you a little diagram. So here's what we want. We want the seat is here. Here's the jam nut. Now we want about 3/4 of an inch of threads, or 20 millimeters. So that's from the jam nut down. We want that much threads. Maybe just 3/4 or a little teeny bit longer. So go run that in there, and then run the jam nut up onto the seat, under the seat, and tighten that up. And that seat is ready to mount. Okay, obviously on the seat, these forks here, they slide in these two slots right here. And then the set screw that hangs down goes in this slot. So go ahead and install your seat. You want to be careful not to nick that edge right there. Okay, and then slide the seat all the way to the back. And then go ahead and put the screw in the bottom. I'll show you how that works. Now, we give you the nylon screw, or the nylon nut in your kit. This is a round one. Yours will be hex shaped. Now, if you'll notice, one end has a counterbore in it and the other has just the threads. Now, we put the counterboard in there for a reason, so that as you screw this up onto the screw, that'll actually go in there a little bit and start itself nice and straight as you tighten it. If you go the other end, it's kind of hard to get it on there. It's wobbly around, so use the counterboard end, and that'll help you slide that up on that set screw and get it started. Then just go ahead and just finger tighten that. Just turn it with your fingers, because there's enough resistance on the nylon. I think that should be okay. You can actually push down on the seat right here as you tighten it, and that'll suck it down a little bit more. So there you go. I think that seat looks really sharp on there. And then obviously to take it off, you just undo the nylon screw. The one thing that really makes a cafe racer cool are the bar end mirrors, and these are really, really nice quality mirrors. One thing about it, they fit on the end of the Ninja perfectly, and you know, it just takes a minute to install them. So go ahead and open your package, and then in the package you'll see the stem and the mirror and the Allen wrench. There's a screw in the little packages here. You'll just screw the mirror end onto the stem like that. So go ahead and screw that on. You can snug that up. And then what we're going to do, we're going to just use on these spacers, we're just going to use the thin ones. So go ahead and take the thin ones out of the center, and I'll show you how to mount those on the handlebars. Okay, this is when it's installed, but what you do is you just take the little spacer and you slide it over the bar end. Then you just slide the mirror over it and go ahead and tighten that screw up. Now, you don't need to get ridiculously carried away on this. Remember, you're going in, this is aluminum, so you can tighten that up. But even if these were to move a little bit after you install them with a little bit of pressure, that's okay. You don't want to strip that out. And then I'll show you how these should look once they're in place. Oh, and then on the throttle side, you can run this up next to the rubber, but on the throttle side, make sure you don't run it up so much that the throttle doesn't turn. You'll have to lean the stem forward in order to be able to adjust the mirror, and then, like I say, make sure your throttle turns. You don't want to run that to the point where it makes the throttle sticky. And then you can tighten these up a little bit as you go, just to make sure they're snug, but like I say, be careful, they're aluminum. Those mirrors are really awesome.